Hi, good afternoon. Nice turnout here. It's good to see some season ticket holders in the back there and fans alike. Welcome. A little respite from the heat. Talk a little bit about Texas Stars hockey. On behalf of the Dallas Stars, General Manager Joe Nieuwendyk, Director of Scouting and Player Development Les Jackson. It's a special day for the Texas Stars. 2 short years ago, Rick McLaughlin and I stood up here. I think it was a little dustier. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rick. The building wasn't quite finished, but almost identical spot. And we introduced Glenn Gulletson as our first head coach. And it was a great day. And this matches it. Obviously, we're pleased that Coach Gulletson, Coach Gerard have moved on to the Dallas Stars. And we're looking forward to following their success. A little bit about the process of hiring my man to my left. Coach Gulletson was officially hired on June 17th. I can give you a little insight. I knew ahead of time that he probably was getting it a few days earlier, and we were doing our legwork in terms of getting a list compiled. I've mentioned before in the press that there were probably some 30-odd people that kicked tires on the job. We got it down to about 4 or 5, I guess, viable candidates in the eyes of our management group in Dallas. And that list included my man to my left and some NHL experienced fellas and American League coaches as well. We went through the process. It was a long one. We had our first interview at the draft, a couple in between there. Coach Pyle was in visiting with us on July 2nd. And he's put on air miles here to my left lately. And we had another interview last Friday as well. And the decision was made this past Monday. And Coach Pyle comes from the Gwinnett Gladiators of the ECHL, and those hockey aficionados know where Coach Gulletson came from the ECHL. Our players have spent time down there. We think it's a key part of development for players. It's a key part of coaches' experience as well. Coach Gulletson obviously is in the NHL now. I've had some experience down there. Some of our support staff, including Brian Garcia, our equipment manager, DJ Amadio, our medical trainer, they've all been down there before. And even Brad Jealous, who was formerly our medical trainer, is now up in Dallas as their strength trainer. It's an important league. And we know and knew Coach Pyle was prepared for this job. His teams have had success. They've won games. He knows what it takes to develop players. Last year, his team started out of the gates one of the best in the ECHL after about 6 weeks, and all of a sudden he lost his 5 best forwards to the American Hockey League because he promoted them and he let them go and do their thing. He lost 277 man games to call-ups. Amongst 15 different players to affiliated and non-affiliated teams alike. It's quite a record. Hopefully you won't lose that many man games this year to the Dallas Stars, because that's not good for us all. But he gets it. That's one thing that Joe and I and Les talked about. He understands. He has hunger. He's an energetic coach, passionate man who deserves this opportunity. And with my great pleasure, I'd like you to introduce the new head coach of the Texas Stars, Jeff Pyle. 20 or 30 seconds. Okay. Tell us when, Fish. We're good? What, no number? Come on.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for coming today. It's as Scott said, it's a pretty exciting time, not only in Texas Stars hockey, but I'm extremely excited to be part of this situation. The interview, when I started with it, I can't begin to tell you guys how impressed I was with the organization overall, the way I've been handled for the last 2 weeks. Had I not gotten the job, I'd have been pretty crushed because I knew I was going to be missing out on a phenomenal opportunity. And I've met nothing but great people. You have organizations both that are on the same page. Everybody in the organization is saying the same thing, pushing in the right direction. It was just a real breath of fresh air for me. You've got an organization that has good young talent, great leadership, people that care, and it's not that often in this game that you find an opportunity like this to work with these type of people. I found it in Gwinnett, and I stayed there for 13 years because of the people I was working with. I didn't really put my resume out that much because at the time with younger children, with the situation I was in, I wasn't ready to leave, and I didn't want to leave to go to a lesser situation. When I ended up getting the opportunity to interview here, you could tell right from day one, the first step, that it was a class act all the way. Everybody's treated me well. Rick, you came in here today, and it was just a pleasure to meet you, and everybody's been phenomenal to me. So then you come into Austin, and Atlanta's a nice place too, but you come into Austin, it's a thriving city, it's beautiful, it's a great opportunity for me, and I just feel very fortunate to have the opportunity that I do have today. And I'm looking forward to carrying on what Glenn's built, and just keep the success going, and we're going to work as hard as we possibly can to prove ourselves to the organization, and make sure we push it in the right direction. Again, I thank you for coming, and if you have any questions, I'll take anything you have right now.
Guys, we'll go ahead and open it up for some quick questions. If anybody, just go ahead and raise your hand. We'll make it over to you. You go ahead, identify yourself, and go ahead and ask Coach Pyle your question. So we'll go ahead and open it up. Don't all jump at once. Here you go.
Habib Kurdi with the Cedar Park Citizen. I was just wondering, what really drives you, and how do you think that reflects in your team's play?
Well, I'm pretty energetic. I think as you guys get to know me, I like to have fun. I love working with younger kids. To me, developing guys, watching them go up, watching them improve day to day, to me, that's what motivates me. I mean, the older players are nice to have around, great leaders, but the younger kids bring that energy. And although I'm a little bit older, I always say to my family, I'm such an infant because I am. When I'm around the guys, I love being around the rink. I love being around the guys. Hockey's a very special job to be part of. And again, I feel fortunate that I've been in it my entire life.
Next.
Welcome, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Mitch Cooper, Pro Hockey News. I'm just curious, for the first 2 years, this team has been primarily a defensive-minded team, and I noticed by your records and what you said last week is that you're a step-it-up kind of guy. What do you
Mitch, we'll have a good defense there, buddy.
Oh, I wasn't worried about losing the defense. I just wanted to know if we were going to have more offense.
Well, I think, they've been very, very successful here, so I don't know if change is the best thing. I think the biggest decision is players have to know when to take chances and when not to take chances. So what I've always told guys is you need to play smart. We want to be offensive. We want to, be creative when we can be, because we don't want to hold the kids back. But they've been successful with what Glenn's been doing, and, I feel if that's the direction we're heading, then we need to stay in that direction. But just, I'm hoping the little details, the things that I can teach them. I was a pretty offensive player when I played too. That if the kids work hard and they do the little things well, you're going to get opportunities to score, and then you hope you can bury them. Sometimes with younger kids, you don't have quite the finish that you do with the older guys, but that comes with time. If they're playing hard and they're playing solid, if you have great goaltending, a lot of coaches would say, we want you to be defensive because that's our strength. But you can always score, whether you have scores or not. It's just a matter of how hard you go to the net, how much you compete, those type of things. So I'm just going to kind of bring that attitude to the guys. It doesn't matter if we're short. I mean, in the coast, there's times we played 6 weeks at times with 13 guys. You can still score, you just have to play a little smarter. So, bottom line, I don't think anything that Glenn does, we're going to change that much. I think, I'm just going to add probably a few little tweaks from what I do.
Welcome, Coach. I'm Layla Rahimi. I'm with KXAN. What are your thoughts, just expanding on the Dallas Stars organization and then what you have to work with here in the Texas Stars?
Well, the Dallas Stars organization, like right from the get-go, when Scott called me, it was very, very professional from the get-go. There are obviously a lot of young talent in the organization. They're building forward. I think it's an exciting time right now. I think they're going to do really well, and I think, from my standpoint, just doing the things that that we do with the situation that we have. I mean, you've got a great organization. You've got great young talent. I couldn't be in a better spot. So I'm just going to work as hard as I can possibly work, again, to build off what Glenn's done. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job. Scott's done a phenomenal job. And the support that they have from the Dallas Stars speaks measures, for the type of organization they are.
Hi, Coach. Dennis Delapena from the Fox affiliate here. Does much change for you when you jump up to this level?
I probably don't have to do as much paperwork. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Coast, but in the East Coast Hockey League, I'm the coach. You do housing, you do salary, you do travel, everything you do. So the thing that I told Joe when I interviewed with him, he asked me what type of coach I was, and I just said, I really don't know what type of coach I am yet because I haven't had time to put 100% of my time into coaching. So that was the thing that really, kind of motivated me and really excited me about getting an opportunity at the American League level. I now have a chance to coach and just focus on coaching, and that's the difference. At the next level down there, you're trying to find guys half the time because you're shorthanded, you're working on flights. I had one guy, a friend of mine that wants to interview in Gwinnett, and he asked me, he says, Jeff, is it 70% administrative and 30% hockey? And I said, on any given day, it can be 80% hockey and 20% paperwork. It can be 80% paperwork, 20% hockey, and it's hard to focus every day on, doing the hockey when you have so many other things to do. And I didn't have an assistant coach, so I probably didn't get to focus as much as I really wanted to on the coaching. So that's what I'm excited about, is now I can just focus on coaching.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Stephen Meserve from 100 Degree Hockey. Scott had previously mentioned that the synergy between Dallas and the Texas system is going to be a lot more. You're going to have a real vertical system between the NHL and the minor league affiliate. Can you talk a little bit more about how you develop that synergy and how you develop those players in that same system, given that you may not have exactly the same personnel in the two different places?
Well, I think when the systems are the same, I think it's easier for the kids to develop. In a lot of situations, you'll have an NHL team with one system, you'll have an American League team with another system, and then an ECHL team with another system. So if a kid comes up from the ECHL, he's got to, it's going to take him time to learn the system in the American League, and the same thing with the American League, you're going up to the NHL. When you get everybody, the continuity throughout the organization, now when guys go up, they already know the system, so now you're focusing on just the technical part of it. So I think that's going to make it easier, number one. And then, again, if you're working on the little things and working hard with these kids, they're going to get better. So I think in the end, it's us putting the time in and keeping those kids focused on what's best for their career. If they want to move up, they have to learn how to do the little things. And I think that's the most important thing about hockey, about any sport, really. If you're going to be successful, you got to do the little things well.
Anyone else? At this time, we're going to go ahead and break, and we're going to go ahead and do one-on-one interviews. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.